Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of the Skytorn here on the Player Hater Gaming channel. My name is Brandon Ross. I am your host and storyteller for tonight's tabletop event. Surrounding me in this lovely call and represented by the lovely artwork you see on the screen is my amazing table who some reason just keep coming back for more D&D. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong or right, but I will try harder or less depending upon what that is.
Well, he's screwed because we're here and we ain't leaving.
They made it. These raspy kids. Make this just say this, yeah. Let me just very, very fast. First off, to all of you who are here right now, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing us this far. I believe I need to do my best to update our goal there. We are, I believe, at 194 followers. When we hit 200, we'll be doing a fantastic giveaway. I have all the things right here in front of me. I'll do a quick recap of those. They're hilarious, fun things. We'll be doing actually a first and a second place giveaway. First place is going to be, obviously, of course, you can't play D&D without dice.
Yes.
So I'm going to get the dice with the lids off because they're not sponsoring us technically yet, so I don't want you to see who it is from. But in first place is a personal favorite dice, which I wish I could keep, but is a lovely full metal set of black dice with green numbers. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera. I hope it shows up well, but it's fantastic, and I love this set very, very much. It makes me very happy with how well it is done. Along with that dice, you gotta have a place to keep it. So we're going to give you this overly sized D20 that actually comes apart, and it has a little compartment inside, and and it's magnetic, so it just holds it on there. So you can put your dice in there, you can shake it around and spill it out when you have sneak attack or cast fireball or something like that.
Nice.
And then of course sometimes I know we don't believe it, but unfortunately there are times where dice need to know their place. And that place sometimes may be in the dunce chair with the little dunce cap. It's
I
very
love it.
even says timeout on it. I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it pretty good. It says timeout on it. So all those times when your dice does not agree with you, it rolls that one, just one too many times, a little suspiciously too many times. It needs to be reminded who it is.
Question. If
Yes.
my digital set of dice does that, do
If
we
you're
think we can reset it by changing to a different set of digital dice? Is that how that works?
we'll figure it out.
Usually, what I do is I change the dice color.
Change dice color, nice.
Yeah.
For those of you who get our second place, we have a lovely set of full metal dice with this fantastic red, almost like dragon scale underneath, and then I guess like a skeletal outer structure. See how well the camera picks it up. It's very beautiful, very pretty dice. But those are our first and second place giveaways when we reach 200 followers. So if you enjoy the content you have here, I have a few suggestions for you. The first is to make sure you're checking out all of our social media platforms. We have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Twitter for updates. We have a Facebook page that we utilize for other things. We also have our Discord, and we have two Discords under our banner, thankfully, as we are now fully welcome the Twisted Perception stream into us here at Player Hater Gaming. So David and Nix, they came over with Twisted Perception. So the two of you, thank you so much for being a part of this fantastic larger project. I love
You're very
having
welcome.
all of you here, along with all the other members, to include James, Ford, Shaq, Riley, all our other Sunday players. If you like what you see here, check them out on Sunday. But back to the Discord part, we have two Discords. One we use for mainly chatting, sharing memes, just talking about life stuff, and that's just a general Player Hater Gaming Discord. And then we have a full blown text based West Marches RP server. And I will let David give a quick snippet on that before we move on to a recap.
Yes. So it is called the Shirma Land of Prosperity. It is a the server itself story is basically our Sunday stream very far in the future.
Which,
You
by the
got
way,
to
I think is
see,
super amazing. That is
yes,
a fantastic setting.
it is fun. Everybody has been enjoying it. Uh, a lot of fantasy. There are quests that are pretty much done at least once a week, run by myself and a few others. So if you want to start talking to those of us here that are actually part of the server, you could always go in there, or you could also meet us on our normal Discord channel as well. But that's what you need to know.
All right, thank you very much, David. Yeah, share us with your nerdy friends, exactly. Okay, like I said, we're going to dig into it very quick. I have a fast recap because there's a couple of things I want to make sure get accomplished tonight. I have a lot of player agency to pass out, and I want to make sure I don't miss that due to time. So,
Oh
over
shit!
the
Yeah.
oh yeah, you know who you are. Over the past 7 episodes, we have watched as a group of individuals have come together and begin to realize that there may be something larger at work than what they think it is. From
Work.
simple.
We're not cooking anything yet.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. I need some water first. It's been a long day of talking in my real job, and my mouth and brain is already fried. So I apologize already.
Man, I hear that.
Yeah. As our individuals came together, first what seemed a simple but strange intrusion of carnivorous sky shark creatures far into the ranch lands of the Surwich Fields. The doctor and Elysia were able to quickly stabilize one of the head of the households in the area, performing quick works of divine magic. They kept him alive, and through other further questions and investigations, as Strackix, Eva, and Red began to join the area and staying out of the apothecary, things just weren't lining up. The attacks so far inlands, the ferocity of the creatures, the frequency of them at that, even, and those who seemed to be not affected, or at least physical proof of being affected, was brought into question. Still mulling over some of their ideas and checking over the lands and various tunnels they found, they were about to make a bit of an intervention with the moss greens before they found that their land had already been sold to the Ilroom family. After a quick, brief conversation with one of the children of that family, they returned to the apothecary to gather their thoughts, their wits, and satisfy their hungers. We were about to move into a long rest, is that correct?
Yes.
Because I held it there for a reason.
Yep.
I need someone to whisper me a d20 roll, and you know I've spoken to you already. Right, you can't just put the emoji out there. It always lands on 20. That's not fair. All right, give me 1 second to consult the chart.
Ooh, the chart.
Do believe that is a Fail.
Oh,
It is a fail. Okay, I'm gonna
oh
roll
man.
D4.
Oh no.
Did you guys see that second roll by chance?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. I'm just messing with settings.
Righty
Okay.
then.
You know, it says it always asks you if it wants to be a whisper roll or not in the app.
Where do I find that? Settings?
Okay. Is there anybody wants to do before we do move into a long rest?
I believe we are good on the doctor's end.
Okay.
It is good.
Okay.
Nah, Drac is good.
Okay. Red.
Mm-hmm.
As sleep takes you
Mm-hmm.
and you begin to dream odd,
Again?
odd but familiar dreams. Your body is not your own. It is different, yet familiar. You stretch out your arms. You can feel yourself gliding far above the clouds. But as you ascend and then you dive down into what should be an ocean, thick clouds, and almost like this pressure that should stop you from moving too deep into what you believe to be, as you know in the waking world, the cloud ocean. You move through them as simply as you do anything else, almost as they're not even there. You glide straight through the clouds, and you actually breach through the bottom. And as you do, the darkness takes you, and you are instantly brought to this horrific scene, standing in a field open and wide, ground and dirt as far as you can see, mountains off in the distance. What was that?
Saying thank you to Rot for helping
Oh.
figure that out.
Mountains off in the distance, the light above you obscured, but the sunlight does reach through. You see in front of you just fields of bodies.
Oh jeez.
And then there in the center, you see this large, strange structure of wood and straw, mud, almost like a circle, like a large, almost basket. And as you try to recall what this could even mean, you look over just to your left and you can see the form of Eva standing there.
Huh.
And the two of you lock eyes for a moment, and she just gives you a small grin before you shoot awake in your bed. You have no idea what time it is. It is dark. You're not sure if it's early, if it's late. You've been asleep 10 minutes, if you've been asleep 10 hours. You don't know, but you are drenched in sweat. And you feel, actually, you feel like you've done more work than rest. With whatever time your body has been supposedly sleeping and regenerating and recovering whatever you may have lost a day prior, you feel like you've just kept working. Your rest has not been restful.
Great. Can I go check and see if she's awake?
You get up out of the bed and you head into the hallway and look around again. It's dark. You can hear probably the slight snoring of Drakix downstairs.
Light?
Are you a snorer, Drakix?
No.
No? Okay, never mind.
Heavy
It all
breathing.
depends.
then.
It's from the doctor.
There is a little bit of heavy breathing.
Okay, there's some
Okay.
heftier breathing. But you head down the hallway and you go to the door where you remember Eva sleeps at.
Mm-hmm. Do I hear anything at the door?
Make a perception check.
Okay. That's a 6.
Nope.
Hear nothing. Okay. Is the door unlocked?
Eva, would you lock your door?
In the apothecary, probably not.
It is not locked.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna peek in very, very quietly and
Okay.
see if she's awake.
Okay. You look in, and do you have dark vision?
Oh. Mm.
It is dark.
She okay, so she's going to there's no real way to make it dim light, right? With the light cantrip.
No, but I will say that just given the experience of being an arcane, being a caster and having that, you would know you could take like a cloth and you could like enchant the object and then cover it with the cloth or something like that. Like that would just be common knowledge you would have. So I'm not going to hold that against you.
Okay.
So you would know that I need to go out into the area. You could either grab a candle or you could find something and cover it with something. It's your call how you get there. You just let me know how you want to get there.
Yeah, cool. So she's gonna take
Just
a
can't
button.
be opaque.
Yeah,
Your caveat.
right. She's gonna take a button and kind of a thin cloth
Okay.
and cast light on the button and cover it with the thin cloth. Something thin enough that it'll make a very low light.
Okay. I will say that you does Red wear makeup?
Yes.
I would say you would have probably like some thinner cloths that you use to clean up the makeup with, just worn over time. So you
Okay.
grab a button, you cast light on it while you're in your room still. You wrap the you drape the cloth over it, and I would say it halves the light value. So you now just have dim light out to what is light cantrip? 10 and 10?
It is
Don't remember it, and I don't have it in front of
Yep.
me.
20, actually. 20-foot radius.
20-foot radius, yeah.
Yep. So brighten at 20 and dim for an additional 20.
Okay, so I will say it
Nice.
just brings it down to you would know to wrap it enough times. I would allow it to come down to just like 5 to 10 feet fluctuating of dim light. Like you kind of like you wrap it once, like oh shit, more times. What the hell? And you just keep wrap until you get to the light area you want.
This feels like Jaws. I'm not happy.
But you crack open the door using your dim light source. Open it out, look around. Eva, unless otherwise cut me off, but you would appear to be sleeping right now, correct?
Unless something she did woke me up, I would be asleep.
She is sound asleep in her bed.
All right. She's definitely going to talk to Eva about it because this is the second time now.
Okay.
But it's not going to be right now. She's going to not be that much of an asshole and let Eva get her sleep and try to get more sleep herself.
Okay. You leave the room, quietly shut the door, and back to bed. You're able to finish your rest uninterrupted. As the morning comes, the sun rises, the island ascends to its usual place, rightfully just barely even, slightly above the cloud level. All of you gain the benefits of a long rest. Any exhaustion points you may or may not have accrued are removed. All of the good fun stuff happens, and all of you awaken. What would all of you like to do with your day, your morning? Not your day, obviously. We're not going to gloss over the whole day.
Right.
Your
Take
morning.
The doctor would take about 20 or 30 minutes doing his morning ritual as usual.
Okay.
Making coffee.
Yes. Red will be
Okay.
downstairs.
I'm glad
coffee
somebody
area.
did it.
Trackix, you are just beginning to kind of get the pot over and get the fresh water, and you're looking for the coffee, and you're tired, and Red comes down and just grabs the coffee where she left it last and sets it down next to you with like a thud.
In all honesty, here, like Drax is just like still half asleep. Like this is just like him, like half awake, getting up. Like I need coffee. Walks over to the kitchen, eyes like half lidded, not paying much attention, just going through the motions. Thud. He just like immediately hand goes over, grabs the coffee, and he's just like still like throwing this in there, making it, not even thinking about it, getting cups, sugar, whatever cream anybody needs, setting it out, making the cups, and then when he's done, he just sits down in the chair, looks out towards probably a wall, thinking that it's a window, and then just sips his coffee slowly. And then as he like finishes that one sip, sets it down, and over Red hears is just, oh good. Huh? Oh, morning, Red. How are
Red, you
you?
watch as this large, pretty well fit Dragonborn just grabs this tiny little coffee cup, because that's all there is in here. Takes it, sits, stares at a wall, just sips his coffee.
Well, good morning, Drax.
Sleep well?
Not at all. Not at all. I woke up from the most vivid nightmare. It's horrifying. She's not looking like she's going to say anything else about that.
You also fell out of a ship into the clouds and somehow got saved, and
No, not at all.
oh, okay, so therefore it's not that type. Got it, okay.
No more blood, guts, and violence.
Oh, so just a normal dream for me. Got it, alright. You okay, though?
I'll be all right.
Okay. That's what matters.
She
Doctor.
just takes she downs the entire cup of coffee in one
It's-
go and goes back for more.
Okay.
No cream, no sugar, just black coffee.
Doctor, you finish your usual castings and your handlings and head downstairs.
Mhm.
Eva, you join them.
Eva comes down the stairs, sees all of them drinking coffee, and just says, "We should really find something that just makes us coffee. Because it seems to be what we all run on nowadays.
I've been running on this for the last 10 years.
Like, there has to be something, right? That just, like, we pour it and it's just coffee. Endless coffee.
Well, I have heard
I
tale of
wish.
a spell that can make a invisible servant to do stuff like that.
We've also heard of a magic item, I believe, that gives limitless whatever liquid.
We need to fill that with coffee.
Hmm. Do you have any weird dreams last night, Eva?
Dreams? No.
So you slept well?
Yeah. I
Good to hear.
usually sleep through the night.
She's totally inciting that.
What are you attempting to discern?
Whether she actually slept through the night, don't worry about it. She rolled a 5, so.
It's hard to
Yeah,
read.
But
She's hard to read.
Eva sleeps pretty well at night.
She's an entertainer. She strums on the lute and lyre. She's hard to read.
Show coffee, Ava. Would you mind coming upstairs with me to my room? I need some help with something.
Certainly. Can I take the coffee with me?
Oh, sure. You could either finish now or like finish it and then come up after, or you can take it with you. Either way is fine.
Do we have anything time sensitive we had to do this morning? I'm not entirely sure what our next step was going to be, but
Well, I think probably at some point we should go back into town and figure out why the bodies seem to be coming from a place we know.
As well as maybe do a little bit of shopping for a couple of magic items or equipment for scouting out the Ilrin family farm.
Right, exactly.
All right.
That makes sense.
Is this something we consider to be time sensitive? Is the question.
I mean, probably. We'd
Sooner
probably
we get done, the
rather.
better.
Right. Probably rather another family not sell their farm.
I thought the Collins would sell, but
Upstairs we go then.
All right. Red kind of trudges up the stairs.
Okay. Red and Eva, you head upstairs.
the doctor just looks over at Dragix and look back to the stairs. Is like, the kind of like a little shrug.
He looks over, it's just like, I personally do not have a death wish, because clearly that is not out of conversation for us. But if you want to go upstairs, by all means, have fun.
He's just going to unbuckle his mask and drink his coffee.
Wise man.
Okay. Two of
You
you
just poke your head
sit.
back down. Unless you really want to know some lady things, I suggest you don't.
The two gentlemen enjoy silence, solace, and sipping of coffee. Upstairs, Red, you lead Eva to your room.
Do you mind horribly if I shut the door? This is kind of a private thing. I mean, as you could probably already tell.
I mean, sure.
She's going to shut the door. She's not going to lock it or anything because that would be really sketch, but she will shut the door and speak in a lower tone. So last night was the second night that I've had some sort of weird dream involving you and curious circumstances. Last night was more gore-filled and violent, though, than the one before. She'll kind of go on to explain the entirety of the dream, leaving nothing out as much as she can remember of it. Do I have cause to be concerned?
Yes and no.
She's waiting with an expectant look on her face.
I have a question for you before I answer the ones that you have.
All right, go ahead.
Do you hunt monsters?
Only if they cause a lot of problems. I don't go out of my way to hunt things unless they're just bringing wrath and destruction for no reason.
My question for you is what makes someone a monster?
Now that is a question. I think intent counts for far more than anything else. I do not judge based on the outside, but the inside. And if you intend to do horrible things to people and cause chaos and, well, not necessarily chaos, chaos is fun, but destruction and evil, malicious intent towards people.
Even if it's merely to survive?
See, I think that one would be a case-by-case basis.
Eva
Again,
will
I don't...
drop her disguised self.
Whoa! And what does she see?
I will send it to you.
Ooh. This could be really interesting for reasons.
Could be.
Snicks real quick
Yee.
because I have way too many DMs.
I know that feeling.
Well, while you're finding that, is there
Mhm.
any conversations Doctor and Jackix have for each other in these moments? Two
Actually,
of you have
yes.
been left. Okay, go ahead. Feel free.
After the girls have gone upstairs to their, well, actually no, because the kitchen is upstairs as well as the bedrooms, so we're all upstairs technically.
You're just on opposite sides of this
Yes, other sides of the building.
house building.
Because downstairs is all of the apothecary shop. from what I
Yes,
remember.
and I will have a map for you guys before next session.
Awesome.
We
Um,
finally get a map. I'm so excited for that.
I know, right?
You will have a
I'm
map
not excited
before.
for anything else except for a map.
You'll have a map before next session. I promise.
Awesome. Well, as once they go upstairs, doctors does his unbuckling it and drinks his coffee, and I look to Drakkix. Excuse me, Drakkix. I have a question for you. If you don't mind answering.
Yes.
Where do you hail from? I know that Miss Eva and Miss Red are local to this island, and I've been quite forthright that I'm not local here, but I don't know about you. Where you hail from?
Ah. Well, um, not from around here, but I have come a long way. Normally, it's between Hasbing and Beacon Trove.
Would I recognize either of those?
Let's see here. Give me a history check. You do. I just want to see how much you pull.
Okay. That is a 10 on the history check,
All right, let me grab my notes.
which would probably be about accurate, actually.
Of course, I have too many notes. Too many notes. Too many notes. Should have had these up and ready.
No, you see, that's the
Okay.
problem. We are chaos. You wouldn't even know like when we
I
are going
know.
to use that. So therefore,
Yeah.
you'd have it there half the time, and it's just like, no idea.
It's okay. I'll do it from memory. What are those two places again?
They are Hasbing, Beacon Trove.
Okay, you have heard of Beacon Trove. You
Alright.
know that, from what I recall, I have my notes in front of me, like I said, Beacon Trove was named as such as it is that beacon bit of an area. It is not a singular island that's floating. It's actually grants its name twofold. One being a kind of in-between point during certain times of the year between the larger islands, and also as it is lifted by unknown arcane methods. There is no currently known reason why Beacon Trove is above the clouds. People have researched it. Individuals have tried to find what symbols mean what. However, the language is lost. The methods are lost. But it is still a functional, sizable area to resupply, sell, make a living, things like that.
So I imagine I probably heard this on my travels.
You've heard it
from
on your
my own-
travels just from people saying, like, hey, we're going to pass through here, we'll make trade, and then we'll sell and
me
pick
being
up,
the
things like
inquisitor
that.
I ask about it, and that's probably how I learned of it. Okay.
Yes. As soon as I find my notes for that, I will give you more depth and detail.
I've been by there actually on my way here. Actually, one of the major, you say, landmarks on the way here.
Yes, it is, especially during the winter. What about you? Where did you
Oh,
decide to ship from?
well, I come from an island quite far from, maybe on the edge of what is known right now, called the archipelago of Ivory.
Would I have ever gone there for particular reasons, sir?
You never had need to go there.
Okay.
It is, and that's not because it's like boring or
No, no.
uninteresting. It's just because your trade route didn't need to drop off what was there. You've heard of it. It was typically, from your knowledge, go ahead and roll a history check, but I'll keep talking and I'll give you more as I go on. The general
Yep.
idea you would have for it based upon your travels and overhearing it is just that it is just another haven that was raised. What'd you roll? I hear snickering. You rolled a 2. Okay. It's another place where people live. Glad.
Wow, he really cut back on
But
that.
yeah, glad I listened. No. I'm kidding. There would be general knowledge you would have. That general knowledge is it's not a port town. It's not a huge trading place. It's just a place where people live. It's not anything that has any renown to it. It doesn't have any great names or works that came out of there. It's just a place to live. It's just another massive land that was raised above the clouds, and people live there.
I've heard of it. I haven't needed to go out that far.
Oh, we never got many visitors anyways. Only once a month when shipments would come in.
Interesting though. Wouldn't expect you to actually come from over there.
Well, we actually, I would say this next line in my native tongue, and he would not understand it. I guarantee it. But for translation purposes, because he would translate afterwards, I would say, well, we tend to be on our own most of the time throughout the year, and you know, visitors aren't too common, being how far out we are.
That is fair. Extremely fair.
I found my notes. Beacon Trove, to add on to that, is of decent size. It's probably, I'd say, is just a bit smaller than the island of Wintergata, which is where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'm trying to think like other size comparisons. It doesn't have like a capital city. It's not known to be a capital city. It's just another large landmass, but that is mobile. That much you would both know is that it does move throughout the planet, as many of the islands do. There's only a few that don't move, and usually it's just because of their sheer size.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of conversations going on. Red and Eva. Eva, if you want to describe what Red sees.
So for Miss Red, as Eva drops her disguise self, which anybody who has some little knowledge of magic will know that she has been using. So for someone such as yourself, no big deal.
Yeah.
You watch as Eva's eyes turn a dark crimson, not far off from yours, and her ears become elongated and pointed, and you can actually visibly see them through her hair.
All right. So any further explanation with that, or does she recognize the race?
Eva smiles,
Um,
and the next thing you see are the quite noticeable fangs.
Make an Arcana check.
Oh, an Arcana check. Okay. Yeah, cool. I'm rolling absolutely horrible today. That's a 6.
6.
Yeah.
I would say with given the grand scale of individuals that are welcome to walk the realm,
hmm
she could be a tiefling of descent. She could be cursed in some manner. She could be, maybe she is a sired vampire. She could be even suffering from other shape-shifting afflictions such as lycanthropy.
hmm
You're unsure, but obviously the fangs in the ears do give away something a bit more either feral or devilish. You don't feel like it's from a divine source. While you do know there are, ASMRs and things like that,
Right.
you knowledge leans you towards something a little more feral or devilish.
Fiendish?
Or fiendish, thank you. Perfect.
Nice. Okay.
But nailing down exactly, you're uncertain.
All right. So I see the fangs, I see the ears, I see the eyes. Hmm.
Eva just stares at you and goes, "Seriously, dear?"
Seriously, I'm really tired. I didn't get great sleep last night because I
That's
think you were probably in my dreams or affecting them somehow.
both. Sorry about
Ah.
that. I wasn't expecting it to come up so soon because there's a few of you around at all times. It
Right.
seems you've just gotten the unlucky roll of the dice. Literally.
Right. Unlucky. So,
let let me explain.
all right.
And I will give you all the information.
Mm-hmm.
All I ask is that you wait until the end before you jump.
All right. I can wait. Go ahead.
My daughter Cassandra and I are, and not just in the sense that you've seen change. Half elves, elves of any kind, to be quite honest, are rare here. I grew up in a small community in Beacon Drove, and I had a good life there. I had a man that I loved, and we decided we wanted to have a family, a child. In order to support that, we wanted to come here.
All right.
We sold everything we had, except the clothes off of our backs, to charter a skyship.
Hmm.
Halfway through our voyage, we were attacked. The skyship wasn't destroyed, but severely damaged. The crew managed to fend it off, but casualties were many. I lost my husband when we made it into port to save him. I don't know why I survived. I assume somebody somewhere has some plan for me. During the attack, I watched him die. And then the creature that killed him came for me. Instead of killing me like he had done my husband, it infected me.
Hmm.
I managed to pulse together some money, managed to buy a small house. We would have had an amazing life if he had survived. He was going to join the guard. We would have been taken care of if that had successfully been completed. As such, bought myself a home, and 8 months later, I had a daughter. At the age of 2, I started seeing the signs that she was also.
So player is putting 2 and 2 together. What character?
I would say it would be easy enough for you to put together, but as that thinking is going on in your brain, make me a history check.
Okay. These dice are going in a freaking jail. That's a 5.
5. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can put together.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, I would hear you say it out loud then.
As you know, things that go bump in the night come in different varieties, shapes, different sizes, different interests.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, Cassandra has not begun having the urge to feed yet, so to speak, but for myself, I am a dampier, beholden to some vampire somewhere out in the world that I have not met, that I do not know, that has stolen my husband from me and has cursed my child. And due to my infection, I feed on your dreams. I don't even choose to feed on your dreams. It happens while I'm asleep. So, when I said that I slept through the night,
Mm-hmm.
I did. I slept well. And I'm sorry, but I do not have control over this.
I figured you probably didn't. So I have a question for you. How much of my dreams did you see, if any? Or does it not work like that?
It doesn't quite work like that. I'm pretty sure what you're seeing is my past.
Your past. Did you fly in your past?
No. It is a
Ah,
dream.
true enough.
No, we cannot fly. We can merely spider climb, so to speak.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
That being said, I do have connections to this vampire. He might be able to fly. I don't know. Maybe you're seeing something from him.
It's possible.
Whatever they look like now.
How safe is your mind from him?
I don't know. I know that there's a thread in the back of my mind. I can feel when he's close, I can feel when he's far. But he's never tried to reach out. I've never tried to reach back. I never want that thing near my child.
That is quite understandable.
Unfortunately, I cannot afford to simply disappear. But if I had the opportunity, even if it's just for Cassandra,
Is
I need to break that curse on her at the very least.
well, if I find a way or come across a way, you'll be the first to know.
Now, DM,
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually spoke about this, but does Eva know why the elves and the half elves are so rare to come across?
No one knows why.
No one knows why. Okay.
Something happened some time ago, and a large population of the elves vanished.
Cool.
There is no record. There is no official story. There is only fire story tales, wives' tales, and accepted lore. I would say the most widely accepted would be that in light of whatever tragic event drove the world to be above the clouds, they decided to return home to the Feywild.
Okie dokie.
With Red's backstory,
Mm-hmm.
would she have any inkling about the elven thing?
Make a history check as you
Okay.
attempt to pierce into that memory.
13, which is better than she's rolled all night.
True, but it is a 13.
Yep, still not probably enough.
I would say that with your knowledge of the elves, that the typical accepted lore story, it's pretty in line. It's kind of some shit they would do. They would just fucking dip.
Okay. All right.
I mean, let's be real here.
Mm-hmm.
They're not fairy level obnoxious, but they're like just under it and arrogant enough to pull it off.
It's the arrogance that gets them every time. Something's going on in the world? Nah, see you later.
Hi. All right, so you don't know if he has access to any of your thoughts, your memories, or anything like that, right? You're unsure?
No idea. I don't know if he's ever tried. I don't know if he's seeing everything we're saying right now.
Would Red have knowledge if vampires have that kind of control to be able to
Make an Arcana
do
check.
that? Okay, all right. Then.
Come on, we gotta get you one good one.
I know, one good roll tonight, please, guys. 17.
17.
Yeah.
That is pretty solid. You would know
Mm-hmm.
that typically, in your experience and your knowledge, and what you know, just not through obviously reading books, but just experience in life,
Mm-hmm.
typically when someone is converted from living to undead to be under the vampiric curse, they cannot do some of the things you've seen Eva do. They can't stand in direct sunlight. That's something you've seen her do plain as day.
Yeah.
So that is a bit offsetting to you. You do know that whoever sires that kind of underling typically does have a very strong hold over their underling that they have commanded and sired. But for her to be able to stand in the sun and to not have a bloodthirst, but instead some sort of this hunger for dreams,
Mm-hmm.
it does set you a bit at ease. You feel, at least in your line of thought, probably doesn't have too strong of a hold, or else probably would have called her home by now. Been some time.
Right.
Why just let her wander? They have a purpose. They have things to accomplish. Could be very well that maybe they attack somebody else later on and that vampire was destroyed. It is hard to tell. But again, with your usual line of thinking of she doesn't have a bloodthirst or for flesh of creatures, it's at least of the dreams, so that's reassuring.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to have a good control of it. I wasn't in pain. I didn't hurt when it happened, so that eases my mind a bit. And again, the sunlight is huge because you do know that in direct sunlight, vampires typically don't last very long, very fast.
Yeah. Okay. Um. I feel as though I should share something. Just, I guess, to make you more at ease that I know. Because I'm certain you probably don't want this kind of thing spread around, right?
I mean, preferably, it's to keep Cassandra safe. I've had people hunting me for years now. Been 10 years since Cassandra was born. People think they have me, and sometimes they do. Sometimes they think they do.
All right. Well, she looks over to make sure that the door is still closed. And
Dr. Jackix, have you tried to open a door?
No, I imagine we're still for our conversation.
Okay, the door's shut.
Nope. Yeah, we'd respect their privacy.
Okay.
As you look at her, her eyes change and turn to almost like a banked coal color, where it's almost a bright yellow, like a hot coal. And first, you notice her veins starting to glow a little bit, like a red, almost rolling flame color. And then you see her slowly start to catch fire. But it's not affecting her clothing, it's not affecting her skin. None of her physical possessions or her body are affected by the flames. They look as though they're a part of her. There's no singed, burning smell, none of that.
DM, is this fire affecting anything surrounding her?
Nope.
No, you watch as this flame grows to a certain size to just kind of frame her body, and almost like how you would see someone standing in an extremely cold room, like you see like the smoke wisping off of them, but instead it is pure flame. And as blue and multicolored as it is, and how intense it should be from just sheer like velocity of flame, the heat is not painful or burning. It's this warm, almost motherly sensation, this comforting feeling as it just moves around her body as easy as she seems to breathe. You look down and around the floor, the wooden floor at her feet should be instantly caught ablaze, and yet it is not even darkened.
She holds it for a moment or two, and then it's like the flames are consumed back into her body, and her eyes return to normal,
Also
and everything.
fancy.
I too am not quite what I seem.
You should show it off more often.
uh,
People would worship you.
you know, I get the feeling they have in the past, but probably I know at this point there are some that are still looking for me. So this is another thing I would like very much kept under the radar. And as we both have things now that we know about each other that should be kept under the radar, I hope you feel more secure in my knowing.
Well, yes. But you should also just keep in mind that as long as this curse, this infection remains on me
Mm.
and on Cassandra, there is no such thing as safety. There is no such thing as security. I will always be hunted.
I know
I
that
heard,
feeling.
I heard an infection. Is doctor needed?
For a
Have
moment,
you come-
Drakex, as you're
have you
having your
come up here?
conversation in a different part of the building, you see the doctor kind of just momentarily just twitch up
Infection? What?
and then looks back down.
Pestilence? Where?
Drac just sighs as he looks over at him. Just goes like, "You're definitely an odd one."
All right, well, I understand that, you know, you could never feel entirely safe or secure, but I mean, safer that I know specifically? What I mean to say is, I'm not going to tell anyone.
If the others ask about it, send them to me. I'll let them know if it ends up that they start getting affected by the dreams.
Right. I'm not sure that they would mind overly much. Obviously, being in someone's dreams is a little odd, but I don't think they would look at you any the worse for it. But that's neither here nor there. That's entirely up to you. If they ever come to you with questions about why I'm so good with fire, maybe you could do the same?
Now that's an easy answer. Come on. You're
True
a
enough.
sorcerer. You've had to have some sort of training. I won't say study because,
All right.
wizards study.
Who does that? That sounds boring.
We just
Boring.
specialize in fire.
Cough, cough.
Who studies? You have an easy answer.
That I do.
I also know that you are more of a chaotic person, like myself.
Definitely.
And let's just say I don't know how the others would take it. There are some people who will stick to what they believe is right, no matter what the reason.
Don't I know that for a fact? Well, if you ever get in a pinch and you need someone who is already aware, I'm here.
Do you know? Eva will recast her disguise self.
Okay.
I think we've left the boys waiting long enough, don't you?
I mean, we could totally go on longer, but
We absolutely could. We could make all kinds of noises up here too. I'm sure they would be quite
Exactly.
intrigued.
what if we just came down the stairs and we were talking about, something that either weirded them out or grossed them out or, just a little fun.
Oh no.
You might not get the reaction you're wanting, just saying, you know.
We'll see.
Something to weird out the doctor. Are you sure? I'm sure we could go downstairs
Such a
talking
feat
about
possible.
lactation and he wouldn't have a problem.
Damn.
Right? It would take quite an awful lot, I think, to weird him out.
I'll think on it. Let's go.
All right.
All right. Two of you head back downstairs just as Drakex and the doctor finish their conversation. You can hear the tail end bits of it before they begin to see you out of the corner of their eyes approaching.
As Eva comes down the stairs, she just goes, and if you see blood on the cloth again, just let me know. I'll clean it up.
All right, I can do that. Thank you.
No one had that conversation with you before.
Blood on the cloth, we could probably use that as bait. Cloud
Very
sharks
true.
Cloud sharks do love blood.
They do.
Not just blood, Drakus, but, you know.
Yes, but
Yes, but
fresh blood at least help drive them away, if anything.
That's fine, but you don't want it on the clothes you're going to wear every day. You pick something that you're going to throw away.
She does have a point.
That's very true.
Typically, I just throw the entire body out, but I guess so.
Are you telling me that when you cut people, that you don't get blood on yourself ever?
I have, but usually they're worse off, and I usually kick them off the ship.
I mean, true.
Hang on, wait. Do you I need context. Do you kick them off the ship like we're in the middle of the cloud ocean, see you later, or you kick them off as in, hey, we've made port, you can't come back on?
No. This is like, oh look, there's a cloud wave. You should go in it.
Oh my god.
New
Okay.
sport called cloud surfing.
Noted.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
hang on to that one.
This is the reason why he's good at his job and nobody knows him. The people who find out aren't here anymore.
No, you said the people that find out don't.
They're not here anymore to say anything.
Well,
I just need Mav. I need David to go find the Pirates of the Caribbean story of Dead Men Tell No Tales and just to read it.
as all of you have come to finish conversations and rejoin, where would you like to head? What is your next thing on the agenda you wish to accomplish?
to the trailway into town. What's the plan?
Okay.
Well, I think the next job should be checking out the mortuary because we found bodies that were there last.
And also, Red can tell her acquaintance
Mm-hmm.
is unfortunate news.
If she decides to.
You decide
To be
to.
fair, she has known since it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
She hasn't told him yet.
Okay. All of you pack just the things you'll need for the day, and you head to the nearest point where the what in the world? I'm just going to call it what it is. I'm not going to even try and think of something funny. The arcane train usually stops off. You get there, you see the same individual doctor that you've seen there many
I
times.
should have written his name down because you gave me a name from the other person complaining about him, and I didn't write it down.
Yep.
But I would know his name at this
But
point,
you see him
even if
sitting
he
there.
hasn't told me.
His name was let's see here. You didn't write it down,
No.
and I wrote it down
think-
somewhere in this mess of notes that I need to go through and fix. So we're gonna call him Brian.
Brian, aka Ticket Guy.
Congratulations, you're now Brian the Ticket Guy.
Brian, the ticket guy. I'm here for it.
Honestly, I don't know if I feel like we should have, you could have at least come up with something that rhymed, but yeah, that works.
Nope. Brian the Ticket Guy.
Bri, the ticket guy. There we go.
Bri,
That rhymes.
the Ticket Guy.
And knowing he hasn't said his name to me before, I would come up and, "Good morning, Brian. I need,
Morning."
I need
And
4
he just
tickets."
stops. Morning. Right. 8 silver.
I'll hand over 8 silver.
And he turns, and for the first time for some of you, you can see just right around, barely out of sight, you can see as he turns and begins to tap on what you believe to be is the wall. But if you move just enough to look, you can see there's this perfectly cut, rectangular, almost like a dark gray, close to black stone slab, probably about eye level for this individual. And it has just dozens of arcane letterings lit up over it. You can see as he just kind of pokes and tacks here, there. A couple of them light up. One end in particular just kind of highlights itself. Well, and he slides 2 silver back.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, but then he puts his hand out to stop you from taking it. Did you want actual seats, or you just want to get in the city?
I'm just here to get into the city.
He slides the 2 silver back.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be one coming through in about 45 minutes.
All right, sounds lovely.
And for those of you that haven't been here, this is a simple wooden platform, probably about 5 feet wide, maybe 20 feet long. It has small ramps, and it's only maybe a few inches above the ground, but it has small ramps on each end, and in the middle of it is just a single person booth with a stool inside of it. After about 45 minutes of time, boringly passes. You begin to see.
In my notes is reading up on things I've written down recently.
Okay. As you look, those of you that are not familiar with this, you can see the probably about 40, 50 feet in the air. You can see the faint, barely visible trails of arcane letterings just meticulously placed in a path through the sky. Hanging there in the air, you can see as they begin to brighten in their intensity, and the light that kept them dim begins to expand and become more intense, brighter, brighter, brighter before it solidifies into where it looks like just now a piece of floating lit glass. It looks truly, truly physical in this pathway in the air above you. And you can see as now a floating trail of carriages comes just moving with rapid pace towards all of you. As it gets closer, it does slow. And then as it gets just above where all of you are, that 40, 50 feet in the air, it begins to descend. As the last cart has been positioned to be where this platform is, it drops, and the side door, just the long barn-style door, just slides open. And inside you can see about 5 or 6 goats, 3 or 4 cattle. There's a couple of chickens cooped off, like in a side area.
A little bit mixed today. And the doctor would just get right on board. He's been here, done
You
this
watch
already.
as the doctor, just without skipping a beat, walks right in.
Red absolutely will follow. She's done this before too.
All right,
Too
right
many
in.
times.
This is the first for Dracax, I believe, with the group.
Yeah, Drac is just gonna be like, okay.
You've seen them before because you have been to this island. And
Yeah.
it's common in these larger places, or more, built up in arcane methods in the weave tech. Eva, you've seen these before too. I don't know. It's up to you if you want to have been in one before.
She has been in one with me.
Yeah,
That's
I went
true.
With the
My
doctor.
apologies.
Mm-hmm.
Once all of you are in, just a few seconds pass before the door just closes, and you feel this shift as it raises that 40, 50 feet in the air. Little thin slats out to the side for air to move through. You can see the ground getting lower and lower before there's another little shift as forward momentum begins to kick in, and it moves right along its path. Probably say 15, 20 minutes later, it slows again, descends, and you can, as it stops, the sliding door opens, and you are immediately met with an individual dressed extremely similar to Bri the ticket guy. But this one is this is a bit of a, I'd say, like a deep purplish skinned tiefling. Even though it is like an issued uniform of those that work the Weave Tech Railway, how do I put this? Definitely someone who where the term like shiny pants or fancy pants comes from, because even though their station isn't huge or of large notoriety, they take care of their outfit and their uniform very meticulously. Like their hair is cut well.
He's very by the books.
Very,
Pick up his
very
ass.
by the books. Yes. Standing upright, a little clipboard in his hand. Small pair of little spectacles on the very top bridge of the nose. Yes, I had saw there was a last minute edition. Right.
We did pay for our transport.
That you did. It's just typically those that come in these parts aren't cheap. But you make it off, thank you.
Have a good day.
And all of you exit.
Oh, Red hops off.
Okay. You head off, and you can begin to see as you leave, there's like a couple of other decently well-dressed merchants there, kind of like giving you like the side eye, like, what in the world? This is supposed to be the animal cart. Why are they here? And then almost as soon as you barely clear the platform, begin hearing prices just being shouted. 10 gold, 12 gold, 15 gold, 1 platinum and a silver. You essentially figure that the auctions happen is they don't even get off the railway. Like it is, if you want to be a good merchant here, Dracax, you would be familiar with this. You as well, Eva. with the time you spend at the docks, you better be on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, lines up. So you are heading directly to the Vias Funeral and Family Home.
Mm-hmm. Unless
Okay.
someone else has.
I mean, the only business we had in town was to go on a little bit of shopping for some arcane tools and or gear for
Okay. Is there anything particular you want to look for?
goggles and night vision, basically, for the doctor.
All right. Roll an investigation check.
We're all on the same boat.
We're all on the same boat. Okay.
Cool.
I'd also like to see if they have any of those jugs that do unlimited liquid.
Okay.
So we can all have coffee.
All right, then
do you
I will
want me to
say
make this
that
roll
the
at advantage or solo?
two of you can helm this, or one of you can roll with advantage
Hold on. And
For investigation?
for investigation.
+5 for the doctor.
I will help.
Just love the gusto. I will help.
All right.
She knows what her strengths are.
That is a 15.
15. Well, you do find a couple of shops that do sell arcane and enchanted items. In this area, they are abundant and they are easy to find. One particular shop you come across, it has this kind of, as you move into what should be like the shopping and enchanting area, essentially, because there's the way this whole island is separated is mainly by not so much your craft with leatherworking, blacksmithing, metalworking, but more so your craft with the arcane. There is a lot less, and for you, Drakex, as you have now come further into the city, you're not used to this. You can see you're used to being, okay, yeah, you typically, you keep your leather workers kind of here, and you keep your blacksmiths there, and you keep your jewelers further in. No, the jewelers are just in your mind in the wrong place. The enchanters are just everywhere. Everyone and their mom's an enchanter here. What's going on? To you, Drakex, it's a bit of a culture shock, and Doctor, the two of you not being from this island, it is just, it is arcanum overload almost, because you're just like, how is this much stuff that it at least even has from anywhere from small, quick enchantments to you see price tags that you makes your head swirl. Like, how are these things just out and about? Why are these? How's no one stealing them? How are they keeping them safe? How is everyone so talented? What's happening? And the more you walk and look, especially with the 15 investigation, it just really begins to set in for you, and then reaffirmed for Red and Eva. You are in the crown jewel of Weave Tech. This is where it was born. This is where everybody really began to unlock the secrets of being able to bond magic to physical items and it hold permanency. Yes, it's been done before the ascension above the clouds. It has happened. Obviously, it's proof. Floating frickin' islands. It's happened. But to really refine the craft and bring it into every home on the island in some way, shape, or form, it's just astonishing to you. So I'll say with a 15, you are able to find goggles that do grant one that does not have dark vision the ability to see in the dark.
Do we find that for everybody? Because I think everyone who in here needs dark vision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
None of us
would.
have dark vision.
You're all blind.
Mhm.
Yeah, you would. You actually, as you're looking, you do find a particular shop, and that name is, let me get to our shop pages.
Mm-hmm.
It just has an A with a letter 3 like exponentially written above it. Nothing else. But
Okay.
as you, what caught your attention as you walked past was there was sets of different styles of goggles and glasses in the shop's window.
All right. Does it show up? Do we see a price tag on them or no?
No.
Do we?
No, you do not. There is no price tag on them.
Okay. I would
Take
probably
that as you wish.
I would probably ask the individual running this store. Yes, I need to purchase 4 pairs of night goggles of night.
What
One of
you
which I can't.
see as you
I
walk
would.
in,
Mhm.
who first off, who all goes in, so I can make sure I get this.
The
Oh,
doctor.
red goes in for sure.
Definitely same.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had to find the price real quick, but I do have a handy guide that someone was very nice to send to me.
Hmm.
Rod. Let me just highlight that line real quick for quick reference. Okay. Everybody goes in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, right?
Yeah.
I thought I heard everybody's voice, but I want to make sure.
Nope, we're going.
All right. All of you head inside. What you are met with in this particular shop is well-made rings, amulets, goggles, glasses. You see off in a corner, you see a couple of cloaks hanging very nicely around like a bust, just a nondescript mannequin bust hanging around it. You do catch on another one of the walls a couple of various weapons, and inside you do see a desk, and then standing behind it you see a peculiar individual. I will say that everybody's passives. No one's crazy low. Okay. You see what looks to be a halfling individual with this neat but semi-tousled, bright, almost platinum bright blonde hair, and these kind of just large wanderlust blue eyes, a neat nice tunic with a little like bow tie on it, and you can see there's also like a pair, they have a pair of goggles on, but the goggles have a pair of goggles, another pair of goggles, and another pair of goggles. Just slowly make smaller glasses. You would imagine magnifying lens glasses almost like, but they're both all down, all like 5 layers, and it's just this like almost cartoonish like cascade of glass. As you can see, they are working with a pair of tweezers on this very immaculately made, what looks to be some kind of a. Looking at it, you're unsure. I would say those that want to try, those that have the curiosity, roll me a perception check.
Sure, I'll give you one.
Got it. I'll give you one.
Oh, come on, Brandon. How you going to entice us like that? Everyone's going to roll one.
That would be a 21.
That's
24.
a 16.
I would say that most of you are able to see that it looks like it should be some kind of a sword handle, maybe hand and a half, two-handed. It is a bit of a longer side. You can see where there will be, eventually, you can see there should be fixations for a pommel on one end and a crossguard on the other. Doctor, what you notice as you're looking at it rapidly and do a quick dissection in your head of how this should work, it's definitely a one-handed weapon, and it is going to be at some point it should be a sword, but you're looking at it and you're like, the inside's almost completely hollow except for the components. It's what is happening in there? There's no way it can be balanced enough to even make anything of a hefty blade. It's going to hold nothing. The blade's going to be 2 inches long. There's no heft to the handle. And as you're looking, you can see, as you do with that 24, you can see the inner workings are this incredible mesh of finely carved wood, like little strips. I'm talking small strips of wood that have been placed in here, almost like ribbon, and then written upon them is small arcane runes. And as the individual hears the ding 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 of the door, as 4 of you walk in, Just a moment. Just please, please don't bother me. Just one moment. You can see both hands are up in anticipation, holding two pairs of tweezers, and there's this gem. Very faint glow to it as this individual places it in the middle. You can see what you thought was already lit runes was in fact the 24 silver that had been draped over the wood.
I
Now,
am watching with bated breath as he finishes this.
as this gem sets in, you can see where there should be a blade affixed to the handle. You can see sparks. Like, and then for a brief moment, you see a blade, a pure, focused, arcane force. It's flat. It has an edge. It has a point. Like there are actual. It looks like someone just took metal and made it arcane. Before it short circuits and there's a bit of smoke comes out of it. Oh, chit, 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 chit. And you can see he's starting to pull things out and move it aside. Another, and he throws a cloth over it angrily and sets his tools down and takes off his magnified goggles and sets them down. Right, so that was upsetting. Perhaps you can bring better news. My name is Amos. Welcome to Amos's Amazing Arcanum.
Can you spell that, please?
Amos, and it says Amos's Amazing Arcanum.
All right.
How can I help you today?
Yes. I need to purchase 4 goggles of night, if you wouldn't mind.
4.
Yes, for me and my compatriots.
We'll only need 3.
We only need 3?
Oh.
Okay. Then I would know
3.
this prior, actually. Then. I asked earlier if everyone does need it or not. I didn't hear any rebuttals. So,
Oh, I might have
Alright.
been AFK. My bad.
yeah. Yes, you're good. You're good.
You can see as he kind of points over to the window, you can hear him kind of just say something under his breath. And there's this whoosh of air past you, Doctor, as you look, and you can see a quick outline of what looks to be an individual made of wind almost. Very hard to see. I'm going to carry over your 24.
Okay, thank
And
you.
you can see the 3 goggles just kind of get picked up, and then they hover themselves back, and they're set on the counter in front of him. Right, 3 pairs.
I do have a question, though.
Go ahead.
Would it be at all any difficulty to fix one of these pairs and replace the lenses I have on my mask with them?
I could do that. I could do that.
I would love for you to.
All right. Well then, you're gonna have to buy the goggles whole, and
course.
then I'll fix them to it.
That sounds perfectly fine with me.
Okay.
How much?
For all the pairs, that will be 900 gold.
Okay. So, player agency wise, I have 16 platinum and 47 gold.
Jesus.
So,
Time to start doing some math, friend.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't have 900 gold worth, at least. I do know that much, I think.
You have 160 gold.
207.
Oh yeah, 207. That's right.
Mhm.
I was saying it's a platinum.
Yeah. I was thinking the other way we use platinum, where it says 10 gold to a platinum. It was 100 gold to a platinum.
No,
No.
this is
Yeah, no.
this
That
is
was
the
the
usual
difference.
conversion
Yeah,
rate, not
yeah.
Rot's table conversion rate.
To
I
be
like
fair,
to be at that distinction.
I mean, to be fair, it is much rarer for you guys to get that much usually.
Oh yeah.
But yes, I only have 207. So, anyone else in the party have enough to get all 3, or should we only get a couple?
How much do we need total? Sorry.
900. So
We
what was
never
that?
did clarify how much money I really had.
Not that much, darling.
Not that much. You would
We
have
can get
your
Give-
one
no.
goggle if
I
someone
ha-
has 100 gold.
I do. I can go ahead and help you with yours so that you can see
I-
under that mask properly. Paid for enough of my trips that I don't mind.
I can also help if need be.
I feel like Drax's hoard isn't here. He doesn't keep it on him.
It's
So
not here.
yeah, he's probably the poorest one of us all.
All right. So we would only be getting one pair, correct?
Tell you what,
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll
what,
be
300
nice.
each?
Hang on, I'll be nice.
No, it's okay.
No,
No,
Drakex doesn't
we're
have his stuff on
babies.
him, so
We're babies.
I'll make some
it's-
rolls here real quick.
Mm.
It's not gonna be anything crazy.
Next thing you know, the rolls actually go like, no, it's going to be something crazy.
I'll add 10 to that. I'll add 10 to each of these, and I'll do one for platinum, one for gold, one for silver. And that'll be what you brought with you as your land cash, essentially.
Got it.
Of course you would roll that.
Hey, Mark. Might not
You
be the
have-
focused one, darling.
40 platinum,
It's 400.
50, excuse me. Yeah, you have 40 platinum, 50 gold, and 20 silver.
So you have
Got it.
450 gold total.
Yeah.
Right, you two should get them because I can always make light. It's fine.
So yeah, he'll put down the 300 further.
300
It
to
is-
you, and I put down the 200 I have.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
Red says she was going to pay another 100 for mine, right?
Right. She's gonna put the 100 gold on the counter and is there any way that we could possibly get like a little bit of a discount since we're getting two?
Well, I
It
was
would really help us out.
make a persuasion check. And what's the current total on the table?
It should be 600.
Right.
Okay.
She nat 20'd that shit for
Yes, she
26.
did.
Okay. All right. If you were getting all three, I'd give you a bigger discount, but you're only getting the two, so I'll knock off 50 gold from the total cost.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate it.
Of course.
She takes 50 of her gold back off the counter.
That's
And,
and doctor.
That's fair.
Just leave that mask here, and I'll have it fixed in here in an hour or two.
Would you mind if I stay with you while you do so? I am very interested in your work. It looks so subtly meticulous.
Right, but you will have to take it off.
Of course. Take some moment.
Red leans in.
I was gonna say, you just see like the group. It's like it's as if like a wall, and the three of them are just like leaning over around the corner and just staring at you.
Well, as Amos begins to get his tools and everything ready, and the doctor begins to do that, we're gonna go to break.
Thank you.
I'll make you guys wait.
Rude.
I'll make you guys wait.
Rude.
I can hide it for another 15 minutes.
You've waited
guys.
7 episodes. You can wait 15 more
Right?
minutes.
Mm.
Just wait. It's just gonna be
Rex is
just
gonna
gonna be
be-
all tentacles, something else.
I do actually have a picture for you guys for reference.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Can't wait for that one.
All right. Well, we're gonna go take a quick 10 to 15-minute break. When we come back, we will see what the doctor has in store behind his mask.
All right.
Right. See y'all back
I
here.
wish,
soon.
Reese. I wish.
That'd be
Another
amazing.
mask.
If
Oh
I could
my
get
god,
away
a
with it, I
mask
would
behind the
have.
mask. Jesus. All right, we'll be back. All right, everybody, welcome back. I think it's kind of funny that as soon as we went to break, our lovely, resident, fantastic Canadian Ship at 9, aka Marco, gave us a raid. So to all of you who came and hung out during the break, thank you so very much for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Ship it. I hope your games were great today. I was lurking over there on the iPad, just hanging out. So hopefully it was good. And you had a lot of fun today. Hope the stream was amazing. To all of you others, GG, everybody else, hi. Hope you stick around. Learn some D&D. Maybe I'll get GG hooked on D&D because Marco won't budge, but maybe GG will. We'll see. But we're back. Snacks were had. I absolutely demolished a plate-sized burrito. I was so hungry. I can stop my timer now. We know it's been 15 minutes. Thank you, phone. All right. No more stalling. When we left off, we had seen a deep but good conversation between Red and Eva about some origins. We had listened into some conversations about where Doctor was from, where Drakex was from. They exchanged a couple of stories. And as they moved into the proper paved and city proper, the ever cerulean castle just off in the distance, barely at the foot of the mountainside, ever over all of them, they moved into a particular shop they had come across looking for some goggles to assist them in seeing in the night, in darkness itself. The doctor asking him of the proprietor Amos to install the lenses to his personal mask. In such a request, Amos asked for the mask to be handed over. And that's where we left off.
We'll take a moment and, as nonchalantly as he usually does, just reaches behind the little black cowl he wears underneath the hat and unbuckles the back of the mask and grabs it with his left hand and removes it. And those of you who are probably all staring and trying to get a glimpse of what he looks like.
Yes.
At this point, even Amos is like bought into it. Like, why is everybody staring so hard at this guy? What in the world?
This is the reference image, and I will describe it for the stream. You'll see a very pale skin, almost translucent face, human. The doctor, and he as well as his auburn red beard. And as he moves his hands out of the cowl, you might get a glimpse of maybe some auburn red hair as well. And he does have bluish gray eyes as well.
Right, well, thank you very much. And he extends his halfling arms outward, takes the mask from you, sets it down, and just tries to work. You were kind enough to pay in full and not push him too much for a discount, as he's probably used to hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see as he...
so tiny.
I know, it's incredibly tiny.
Well, at least now we know. He wears the mask in order not to absorb the souls of those he's actually dealing with in the mortuary.
Uh-huh.
Might not be far off in that. It's also for the the sunlight. While you don't know how sunlight sensitivity, he is still a pale Irish-looking man.
Sorry, B. Continue.
Mm. Can she see
Gifting.
anything unusual or anything about his appearance?
Unusual or interesting?
Mm-hmm.
You only remove the mask, correct?
Only the mask.
Nothing else. Okay.
I
Just
still have a
seems
cowl covering, so you only see just
understandably pale-skinned, with a uniquely well-groomed mustache and beard of auburn red.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. No crazy scars or tattoos or birthmarks. Just if it wasn't for the fact he was so pale-skinned, it'd just be a nondescript face on the streets.
Mm-hmm. Well, his eyes are very gray as well. I say bluish gray, but they're mostly gray.
Okay.
Okay.
Is anybody paying attention to the work being done?
the doctor is.
Drac
Okay.
will actually look over eventually.
Okay, I need you two to give me a perception check.
Will do. He's very, guy has his mask, and I not won that.
Oh,
I got a 13.
13. As you're watching him work, you swear for a moment you almost see one of the lenses break and shatter. But then you blink a bit and it's fine. Wrong at all.
He's gonna look over and just be like, is that supposed to happen?
It's what's supposed to happen.
I could have sworn the fact that the lens is broken.
No, it's fine. Look at it. See? Perfect.
Huh. And he's gonna look over to the other two, just like, am I the only one seeing things? Am I going crazy?
You finally see an expression from the doctor of like near relief and
Yeah. No. Doctor, you don't notice anything. This man's work is flawless and impeccable.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty really. He knows what he's doing from that sword I watched earlier, so I trust the man.
And as you mentioned that, he talks while working. Oh yeah, it's an old relic I came across trying to get to work again. And you can see he's got like one hand on like the inside, one on the outside, trying to make sure he fits it in properly. He looks at a couple of the glasses, finally picks one out that seems to be the right size lens, goes back to it. It's finicky relic I've cured some time ago. Trying to get everything on the inner workings correct has proven to be vexing, to say the least.
Yes, well, I'm familiar with such works myself. But I did notice that there was a bit of a issue with the gem being inserted. Didn't seem like the magic didn't want to take.
Well, that's the tricky part with that thing. And by now he's actually already finished one lens, and he's starting to pop the second one out.
Yeah, and I would actually ask him, can I please keep the lenses?
Sure. He slides one over to you.
I take them and I put them in my little doctor's bag.
That's the funny thing about that rather relic. It's supposed to be powered by your soul. And he kind of says it like mockingly. It's nothing the arcane can't overview, but supposedly the legends go that only those of a certain race can get the magics to work properly through it. I'm trying to... And you hear like a pop as he finally gets the other lens off. Ah, there we go. And he hands it to you.
I take that one and put it in the bag as well.
So,
does it specify the race? It's a very curious condition.
it is. Those born with celestial blood. And again, a very mocking tone. Just, you can definitely tell this is a very arcane heavy individual. He's very methodical, and if magic can't fix it, it don't need to be fixed.
May I take a look at it? Maybe something in my own research. I'm not from the island. Maybe something from...
Oh, it's mixed poison check.
Okay. That's a 4.
Respectfully, no. It's took some
Understandable.
time and no small fortune to acquire it, so rather I just worked on it myself.
I understand that completely.
And he, after about, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes of work, he gets the second one affixed and properly clamped and held into place. All right. There you go. He hands the mask back.
I take it and I very, carefully look over it before I place it back onto my face.
Work is well done. The rings around are a bit thinner now to compensate for the size of the lens itself. But as you affix it to your head and get yourself resettled, you feel a slight shift in the eye part of your mask, almost as if it's slightly moving left, right, up, down, and resizing itself before finally settling into a proper size.
Does anyone else see this happen, or do I just feel it?
Is anybody taking that kind of a terror notice into watching the doctor put his mask back on?
Red has not stopped looking at him.
Yeah.
Red. Okay. All of you watch as these were placed in there. You can see almost like a half iris kind of opens and closes and readjusts and fixes itself on there before it finally finds the correct size in the doctor's mask. And you can see as the halfling there kind of puts his hands on his hips and smiles. There, see? Bit of enchanting, a little bit of elbow grease, all worked out.
Yes, quite so. And I look around, and visually, I don't notice anything. Correct?
Visually, there is zero change.
What you see is Red hanging off of Drakix and Eva hanging off of Red staring at you.
It's probably the first time I noticed it too. Honestly, I've been focused
Yeah,
on him having a
probably.
mask.
You just now feel 6 eyes upon your form.
I look over at him and I just cock my head to the side, like, did I do something?
It's
No.
lovely to be able to see your face finally.
Oh, that. Sorry.
No, don't apologize. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves.
It's a newer habit.
Just under her breath, Eva mutters to Red. But it's so normal.
Do I hear that?
Appearances can be deceiving, as you well know.
Do I hear her under her breath say that? Passive at 15 on.
How quiet were you trying to be?
He might have heard it, yeah. I
Yeah,
would give it to
you
him
heard
if
a
he
bit of
wanted
it.
to.
Almost there's this weird mixture of joy and disappointment.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's disappointing. The only strange thing about me is my birthmark.
Now, don't make me go there, darling.
I can show you now if that will appease you.
That means it's not in an interesting place.
You're correct. It's on the back of my left hand.
I mean, I'm
Now
always
she-
down to learn more.
All right. He would just very nonchalantly remove his glove from his left hand. You see his hand's just as pale as his face. We can probably see a couple of his blood veins.
Mm.
I would also probably mention the birthmark specifically. It looks like a rose. And the blood veins traveled through the rose into his fingers.
Red. Actually, everyone except Doctor, give me a history check.
Lovely.
Oh god, here we go again.
Hey, I got a 16.
That's
Okay.
only a 10.
Same.
Trakex, you swear you've seen this symbol before. But it wasn't on a hand. It was. It was. You're trying to think. You're just trying to think. It was on a banner or on a ship or on a flag, something like that. So you can't exactly recall how, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was definitely publicly, openly displayed as like a sign of like this belongs to blank.
Like everybody else sees Drac. Like when he sees the birthmark, he goes, and then he like his hand goes up to his chin. He kind of like strokes it a little bit, and he looks thoughtful. He's just like,
Would a doctor pick up on this?
oh, definitely, because he's being.
Mm-hmm. He's not trying to hide it.
No, he's not trying to hide it at all.
This will be the first time anyone's reacted to him in this manner, seeing his birthmark. So, something the matter, Drakix?
That's the matter. Not to per se. That birthmark, I've actually seen it, but it was on a banner of a ship.
Well, I have the I'm the only person I've ever known to have one, and I'm the only person I've ever seen it. Anyone else with this birthmark as a symbol?
Not to be rude, as the question may be a bit personal.
Okay.
But
How's Amos reacting to all of this? By the way,
He's kind of, you look over and he's just kind of like semi-tuned you out because now you're just the
Mhm.
loitering customers who aren't paying for
Yes.
anything anymore, and he's gone back to
Mhm.
working on what he was working on.
Fair enough.
Drac actually looks to Amos for a second and decides at that moment in time, like maybe best we actually leave and continue on to do what we're going to do in the first place.
Not by anything else, by all means.
And he kind of like motions everybody out the door.
I would turn back and say, "Thank you very much, Mr. Amos."
Of course. Have a good day, and if anything else you need, come back.
Will do.
And as they go outside, his second nature of what he does kind of takes over because now at this point he is curious to know, even though he may not remember what the ship was, maybe he remembers what it was related to, and he's just curious to see if the doctor's related to him. So finds an alley, brings the group, kind of cuts down a couple of corners, making sure that nobody follows. And then when he sees that they're all alone, he's gonna turn and he's gonna look to the doctor. He's just gonna go. The question may be a bit impersonal, but I guess you could say curiosity has decided to rear its ugly head. What is your family name?
Uh, I don't know. I was raised an orphan. I do have a last name, but it was one that was given to me by non-family member.
Well, hopefully we don't need to deal with them. But as it stands, it'll be an honor to be at your side. Now,
He is taken aback by that.
Okay.
What
uh,
an honor? What?
nah, don't worry. You'll find out soon enough. I'm
Hold
sure.
on, hold on, hold on. What do you know? 'Cause
Well,
I know nothing about where I come from.
if that your birthmark matches a well-known ship that I have seen many times in my travels, but we have always steered clear of them. So I don't know if you are part of them by blood or if they are using the actual birthmark for something. But regardless of what, I do know that they can be a bit, to be politically correct in this,
Oh, just spit it out, darling.
they're competition for me. And therefore, as competition, I would normally strike them down and then throw them into the clouds. But as you say that you are not part of them, I will be not doing what I normally do. And also, you have actually proven to be a worthy compatriot, so therefore, I will work by your side.
If you can see his face, he's just visually confused. Like confused doctor face here.
All I see is mask.
It's weird. It's almost like as you're looking at the mask, you almost see it become slightly animated, and you can swear you see a hint of physical confusion on this immobile mask. Almost as if the sheer strength of the aura that is confusing the doctor is infecting the physical realm.
Yeah, yeah. So he completely ignores him, then just like looks. Then he just goes back and goes, "Well, we still need to figure out about the mortuary."
Right.
Takes the doctor a moment. and he collects and says, "Yes, Vias family home. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
head there first."
Okay, you make your way through the city, heading further away from the Cerulean Castle in that area to the Vias family home and funeral arrangements area. You feel like, Red, you know this too. You feel like every time you come here, the sign says something else.
Of course it does.
For Red, you know they keep like a stock of just signs they just swap out. Almost like fake plates, kind of like that concept where they just swap them out real quick.
Nice.
There's just,
Okay.
if they get a little too hot, you would know in your background, Red, they just slap a new sign on there. But you head there, head inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
You head inside. What most of you see for the first time is a very small, extremely nondescript waiting room. There are a total of 6 chairs, 3 on each side of this small room, maybe 10 by 10. And there is a single desk near the back middle. It is flanked on each side by 2 doors. And sitting there in the middle is a familiar female of probably some lineage of elven descent, not enough to be quarter or half, but the features are there. There's the long, beautiful hair, the slightly elongated chin, the not quite pointed ears, but just something a bit more fey to them, and just her sheer aura or her presence as she kind of sits up. We haven't sent for you. Can I help you?
Yes, I believe there might be a small complication with your body disposal.
I can assure you, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Of course. I just want you to be aware that my compatriots here are fully aware of my position and of what I do. I can trust them 100%. I can vouch for them.
As can I. So, but we came across a very familiar looking.
Not completely disposed body, and I
Correct.
recognize my own handiwork. I have no problem with how you disposed of it. It's just more of a something that happened to involve us currently outside of this work. And I want to make
Well,
sure we don't get you all caught up in the mess that we are willing to show.
There could be other people looking into the reason why we discovered them, and it would help us out greatly if we could figure out who the last one was given to that he worked on. Kind of nip this whole situation in the bud. That way, eyes are kept away from here.
Mhm.
I can assure you that anything that leaves here does so without being brought back here in any way.
I agree.
And also, there is no trail to know where they go when they leave here.
Yet we've stumbled across it, but was happenstance, obviously. But it might wrap up your men, we'll say, might want to cut ties with that individual.
They're being rather careless.
And are more than likely wound up in a cult action that is attacking the sewage field. And I imagine
Probably heard of
that
them.
is a involvement no one here wants to be a part of.
Very likely.
Make a persuasion check. Doctor.
Any advantage or none?
No.
Cool.
Dang it.
Technically you do, but it is flattened out.
Ah, okay.
6.
Oh no!
I
Wow.
understand your time with us is very short, but please understand, we do not control where things go when they leave here. We just know that when they leave here, they are unrecognizable except to a certain trained eye, such as yours.
I fully comprehend this. I'm just questioning maybe cut ties with the individual hired for the job. They don't seem to be the correct fit for this business.
And would you turn down bread if you were starving?
Of course not.
I
But
hope you all have a good
I'm
rest
not
of the
the one-
night. And she just cuts you off.
All right.
Can I roll an insight check on her?
What would
I
you
just
like?
want to see if, like,
What you trying to figure out?
it's more of a sense of if she's trying to hide something or protect someone. If that
Sure,
makes
roll it.
sense.
And I would like to know if she's actually concerned and trying to cover it up.
All right.
I would like to roll one just to see whether or not she wants to have me killed or not.
Well,
Okay.
19 for that insight.
Now I know your motives. Roll them, and I'll address them as I see them come up.
Okay.
dirty 20.
All right.
17 for the doctor.
Oh, damn. All right.
I will start with as I saw them in order. Eva, you were trying to figure out if she's what was it again? Sorry, my brain went off.
Trying to
I-
hide something or cover something up, I think.
Yeah, I want to know if she's, like, either. I want to know if she's protecting someone.
With a 19, and given the realm you've heard that they operate in, you definitely know she is speaking cautiously to protect the business that they conduct here.
Okay.
Especially with unknown faces around and a one-time person who has now said that you all know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Red, you
Yeah.
wanted to see if she was...
Truly not concerned, or does she have a level of concern and worry that this was able to be traced back?
There is a bit kind of in like the subtler tones of her voice and kind of how her body language react to certain words when heard. You'll be able to pick up that there is definitely concern that work was able to be recognized once it left this building. That's definitely seems to be something new.
Okay.
And Doctor, hindsight's 2020. You probably should have came alone.
I mean, that's fair.
Hey, come on, we're not that bad.
You don't know that.
To be fair, I am fully stunned from what Dracus just told me. I am not thinking as clear as I should be.
I mean, Red's safe though, right? Because Red was the one who brought the doctor here in the first place.
Sure.
Thanks.
Here for you. It's a reason we're called player hater gaming. Nobody figures it out until it's too late.
I don't know. I have some experience. Sorry. That was kind of. That was kind of mean.
Oof. Well, she has effectively cut you off and is giving you the cold stare of just like, you need to leave.
Yeah, and I will.
All right. You all leave. You are left outside. I'd say at this point in the day, you had coffee and breakfast at the apothecary. Then you traveled here. Then you looked for the shop. I'd say it's just getting into like the typical lunchtime. Like you're starting to see the streets are getting a bit busier. People who are usually enchanting or working or doing things of that nature, even off the docks, they're coming in. Like Drakex, you're trying to look around, you're starting to see familiar, I wouldn't say familiar faces, but just familiar themes to those that live on the Cloud Ocean.
Yeah, he's going to kind of let everybody know this way. They keep on their toes.
Okay.
But outside of that, he's keeping an eye out on things.
Okay. Where are you guys heading off to next?
The only thing left for us to do is scout out the ild rooms and try to get more solid evidence that is them behind all this.
Yeah, that's really only the last thing left that we could do other than stake out the mortuary, but I don't think that that will end well for any of us.
Not currently.
I imagine we'll deal with them later as well, anyways.
I mean, I also have a rabid dog I can sick on them if need be.
Would you bring that up
Don't
with
you
us?
have like 5 of them?
What was your question?
Would you bring that up with us?
You know what? She probably would actually.
And mine was, don't you have like 5 of those?
Do I count you among them?
Wow.
In all actuality, like the group
Cold-blooded.
would realize that Drac it would be fine being considered a rabid dog for multiple reasons.
So I do have one way to distract them if we need to, if the mortuary ends up becoming an issue. You know the person I'm talking about, Doctor.
Player probably doesn't realize it, but Doctor might.
It's the scrawnier, kind of bugged
Okay.
out individual that was the friend of the person you took apart.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Player forgot about him.
Yeah. Could always drop him a little note.
Wouldn't hurt. If these individuals could become a problem for us anyway.
It needs to be something that can't be traced back to us. Is anyone here particularly good with skulking and sneaking about?
I mean, I'm not horrible at it, but it's also not my expertise.
If I take off the armor, that would help out, but I tend to just do my best to blend in more than anything else.
Right. Unfortunately.
I stand out too much for it.
And his habits have probably become unusual and unpredictable lately. So, not entirely sure I could sneak some kind of note.
Let's say, Red,
What if
you
it
would know
was-
where he typically stays.
I would know where he typically stays. Okay.
Yeah, just given your interactions with
Mhm.
the previous individual and this individual, and those kind of their, I wouldn't say crime syndicate because it's just like it was just 2 of them, just being essentially bullies. But you kind of know the typical areas that hang around. You know where they usually squat or stay.
Okay. But his hours would probably be really
Oh, there's no
unusual.
telling.
Yeah. I know somebody who can probably look completely unlike themselves, at least for a point of time. I'm not quite sure they'd be willing, though.
Well,
Isn't
Oh, she's absolutely not looking at Eva at all. She's not trying to like call that out or anything. She's just speaking it into the air.
I mean, I understand that we might not be great at the whole sneaking around thing. I can try and help if someone wants to try.
I could always try.
Just need someone to drop a little note with a hint at insert player or insert character knowledge here about where this person stays.
You know, he
Indeed.
typically stays on the outskirts that kind of border the Sirwich Fields and the Phaedrift Dynasty area where you are. You know that they typically stay there because, one, it's for the most part oddly unregulated because it's considered reclaimed land. Most buildings have been knocked down or deconstructed, and the area expanded upon and then brought back as the needs of the Sirwich Fields have grown and shrank. There's along that line there's any number of places someone could just hide out for at least a good couple of months to a year, depending upon, again, the needs of the island. How much food is needed? How much land is needed for animals? Things like that.
Out there, just leave a note for him somewhere where he'll know to look, suggesting that maybe he should inquire at the mortuary what has happened to his friend.
I think we can do that.
That'll at least get them off of our backs for a time. Though it may end up rather poorly for Willis.
Well,
If you can serve enough trouble to give us time to at least complete this business before we can face them head on.
Right. It'll buy some time. We agreed, even though it may have serious repercussions for Willis.
I'm okay with it. If
well,
everyone-
I think the question is really, do you like him enough to keep him around, or
No, I use him for things. I don't particularly care for him as an individual. You get the kind of sense that she, most of the time, sees people as chess pieces.
Ah.
If we're all agreed, then let's
Yep.
do it.
Okay, so you're going to try and find Willis.
Yes, not
Yep.
directly face to face.
Not face to face directly. I get it.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
are you going to go about this?
So she knows the general area,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Does she have any? Hold on, let me look at her.
Crack is going to be taking off his armor in the meantime?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's probably going to give it to the doc in order to carry it around.
The
Oh,
doc.
wait.
Oh, doesn't he
What are
have
you
that?
wearing? What's your armor? Medium or heavy?
It's just chainmail.
Okay.
So I could feasibly bunch this up and put it in the darkest bag?
Yeah.
It'd be spilling over a little bit, but he could.
How much does it weigh? I do need to know
That's
that.
what I was getting at. How much does it weigh?
55 pounds.
I
No.
cannot put this in the dark bag then. I can have I have a pound limit of 30.
You can always throw it over your shoulders.
Do you not realize his look at everyone's strength score except for yours. Everyone.
Well, you're
I
not
think-
wearing it, so there's a difference.
but you're still
Listen,
carrying it.
Listen,
He could carry
might-
it, but he would be encumbered. He has
Yeah.
the red lettering on his inventory slot now.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, what is my encumbered rate? I have a carry capacity of 120. This would push me up to close to 90 pounds.
Ironically, Eva
Yeah,
could
you're
probably
fine.
carry that too.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think
Viva can
maybe
carry it,
Eva.
perfect.
I think maybe Eva might be the best person to do the sneaky sneak too. She may not be specifically for it, but you know.
She has a better chance at it than the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know if my chance is better than Drakik's though.
No. Probably yours is better.
Yeah. I'm
Trust
sneaking
me.
a look at everybody's scores.
Stop
Trust
it!
me on
Stop!
and,
+1.
You don't know.
But I can also help you. Can't help myself.
That's right.
That's
You
true.
can.
So my question is,
Mm.
are you going to be asking for him and where his whereabouts, or just trying to perceive where he may be?
I mean, I would say at least first just trying to perceive where he is. If she knows a bit about his habits and where he likes to hang out and stuff, she's going to just try and look from a distance at those specific areas to see
All
if
right.
she can.
Make a perception check, please.
Okay, cool. Come on, dice. That'd be a dirty 20.
Ooh, nice.
Mm-hmm,
Rough in the start of the episode, but you're finishing strong.
Right? I changed my dice color.
Ah, nice. Well, looking around with a 20, you don't see Villas. You do see other shady type individuals who are probably living rent free in a couple of half. And when I say demolished, I don't mean like smashed and broken down. I mean like taken apart and materials reused elsewhere.
Got it.
So
Scavenged.
most of these places are just what they took was probably the lumber and the easier to move stone. So you got about a quarter or a half of a building that they just throw tents over at that point. So that's what most of the areas you're looking at are going to look like.
Lovely.
You don't find villas, but you do see a couple individuals, like I said, are probably living under the radar, rent free. Some a little shady than others. Some probably just down their luck. Some up to no good.
Okay. So one that is kind of separated from the rest, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Might look a little scruffy. Somebody that I can have a very quiet conversation with.
You see this kind of older man who's got a bit of a gray beard, a bit of a wild to it, completely bald head, sun-withered skin, decent, like, I won't say raggedy clothing, but not great either. Like, at one point it was probably well made, but not anymore. And a little bit on the frailer side, just kind of holding an empty cup and just kind of walking a little too loosely down the alleyway.
Okay. And he's walking down the alleyway.
Yes.
Okay, so she's going to kind of nonchalantly try and keep pace almost, but speak quietly enough to where only he can hear her. And
Okay.
she's going to pull out a gold from somewhere
Okay.
and kind of like make sure that it's in his periphery before she puts it back. And
you see one of his eye kind of catches it and he kind of looks back. Can I help you?
right, I was looking to see if I could give a message to one of my friends, but he seems to not be where he should be at the moment. So I'm having some difficulty locating him. Have you seen, perchance? And then she'll give him the physical description. Goes by the name Vidis.
No, I can't say that I have.
Some gold help jog your memory? And she'll pull the gold coin back out again and kind of hold it.
He kind of looks it over. Oh, Not since last night.
And where was that?
And he kind of points down the ways. About 4 or 5 buildings that way.
Does he have like a vest pocket or something?
No. His trousers don't have pockets. He has
His
an empty.
trousers don't have pockets.
He has
Cool.
an empty cup, and he just kind of holds
Oh.
it to waist height and kind of shakes it back and forth.
She will put the gold in the cup quietly. Thank you so much for that information. Have a good day. Go get yourself a drink.
You can see he finishes what liquid was in this cup, and then he just tooths the coin as he turns around and walks towards what you can presume be somewhere to get a drink. Or a lot of drinks.
Yes. She's going to make her way back to the group and give them the information. So they saw him last night, probably 4 or 5 buildings down. Does she know what the building is just from looking at it?
From looking at it, it's just another
dilapidated structure.
Yep.
Cool.
It does look a bit more lived in. It has not just the usual like quarter bit of stone, like 2-3 feet of stone built up, but you can see there are actually like a structure to the cloth that's been stretched over, probably lumber.
Well, if I know Villas well, he'll probably be back. But should be right around that building.
And
What was that?
at that point, hearing that, he's just gonna go, well, then should we try to quietly check out the building, or do we just let the most lithe of us go in and do what must be done?
So I don't think that Willis is likely to still be there, but it's a possibility. Perhaps we should have someone go in and take a look around?
That was my thought.
Any objections or better ideas?
I don't have any.
None at the moment.
All right. Who is going up to this building?
I would go up.
Before he moves,
Mm-hmm.
Eva puts a hand on his shoulder and just says, "Be careful, dear." And he gets bardic inspiration.
Enjoy your bardic inspiration.
One roll for 10 minutes. That's all I can do.
I mean, he's still good, really good every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you sneaking up to this building, or are you just walking up to it?
Oh no, he's definitely gonna try to sneak up to this building.
Roll a stealth check.
Oy vey.
Here we go.
The,
Time to lose our tank.
the doctor is going to try to slink into a alley by himself for a moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna use that bardic now.
Oh my god, really?
The highest he gets a 12.
Oh
The
my
lowest you get
gosh.
is a 6.
No,
Oh,
the highest I get is an 11 total.
No, it's because D6.
Yep. So 5 plus.
That's an
Oh.
8.
That's an 8.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
He's not used to being sneaky.
Drags.
Doctor, roll a
Oh,
stealth check for me.
Sure.
Jeez.
Hey, I tried.
12.
Okay.
Look, he's the tank. He's supposed to be the distraction.
Yeah, you took your armor off, though. You're squishy
That's just-
now.
Okay.
I'm okay. I'll be fine.
So, Doctor, you slink away.
I just want to go into an alley, and
And
I will like turn maybe one away from so the party doesn't see me because it's
yeah,
like a
no.
corner.
You get away from the party's passive perception.
Okay, and I will set my bag down on the
Actually, wait,
ground.
I think, hang on, I don't.
I think there's one person who can see me, who noticed me.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it is. I lost my sheet where I wrote everything down.
Passive
You're
is a
looking for
14.
passive?
14? Okay.
Mhm.
And a 13 for Eve as well.
Okay, yeah, so they
Yeah.
you both
It's-
watch as you're watching Trackix. You see the doctor just disappear out of the side of your eye.
Eva just gives a very heavy sigh.
Well, this is already going swimmingly.
Trackix, as you are beginning to walk down this alleyway, you are keeping close to the buildings. You're remembering your days of being a much younger version of yourself, getting things through cities, taking certain paths, moving certain ways. And as you begin to get closer to the building, your right foot hits something and it squishes a bit. And then you hear this loud cat just cry out in pain.
Oh my
Just
god.
and it just darts off like a bat out of hell down the alleyway, crooked ass tail from where you stepped on it.
Yeah, no. See, the worst part of all is at this point, everybody else is paying attention to him because of this, and then they realize Drac actually stops and just goes, "Oh no, I didn't." And they see him just like kneel down, try to actually grab the cat, and just try to pet it in his arms. It's just like, "I didn't mean it, young one. I'm so sorry."
Make a dexterity check. I'll give you a shot.
Look, I take this distraction to slip into the building.
That's an 8.
What is it?
That's an 8.
It's gone. It just it
He's
slips.
like,
It's worse. You actually get a hold of it for a second, but it slips through.
Yeah, no.
Kind of tracks. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he just coughs afterwards. He's like, moving on. Shall we?
Red, do you attempt to sneak past him, or do you just walk in?
She's just walking in at this point.
Okay, you just walk down the alleyway. You turn. You look in the building. Make a perception check.
Okay.
It's just like, wait, no, what? Oh.
Doctor, what are you doing?
I am on the opposite end of the alley of the party, and I am turned the corner, and I put the bag down. I sit on my bag, nuzzle against the crate or whatever is back there to kind of give me visual cover from everybody. And I am in my journal, flipping back to the beginnings of it.
Okay.
It's a 17 for perception.
Okay, you look inside, and you can see it's definitely lived in, and it's decent for being free living, of course. If you don't have to pay rent or any kind of price to anybody, you can spend your money on other things. So there's two on opposite ends of this kind of like 1.5 room building that's left. It's essentially it's almost like a studio apartment at this point. You can see there is some kind of like a food area. We can see there's this very small, like repurposed crate that has a hole in the middle of it, and then some simple, like very simple ironwork laid over it, probably salvaged from something, with a kettle in the middle of it. You can see there's remnants of long old coals underneath. You can see there's 2 separate bedroll areas, and you can see just the various bits of whatever could be picked up or bullied off of people, essentially. There is a couple empty crates refashioned and kind of stacked together for like a chair or a sitting area with like some heavy blankets thrown over it to be somewhat comfortable.
Okay.
I would say you don't find anything of value, that's for sure.
Do I find
Nothing.
anything that looks like Villas would own it?
You rolled a 17?
Mm-hmm.
You do find by one of the more messier and looks like more recently used bedrolls a couple of what looks like just loose pieces of cloth, maybe about like 3 inches across by 3 inches, like just very
Mhm.
small. And you see a bit of twine next to them, and you look it over, and almost looks like a one-use like snuff pouch or something like that.
Mhm. um, so she will go ahead and write out a note really quick that says, if you want information on
Insert name here.
Radrion, because I write shit down.
Mm-hmm.
If you want information on Radrion, you may want to visit the Vias family home.
Okay. Who all is inside or near the home at this point?
Drac is probably outside.
Okay. Eva, did you say where you were?
For the moment, yes.
Okay. And Doctor, you're keeping line of sight on what?
I am out of. I'm trying to keep line of sight off of me from the party. I just went down the opposite end of the alley where everyone was.
So you can't see
So
them.
I can't see them. They can't see me.
Okay. What you do see, Doctor,
Okay.
is about 3 individuals in a bit darker clothing begin to walk past you and heading in a direction of your acquaintances.
Okay. They don't take note of me or anything like that.
Were you trying to hide?
Kind of not. Like I propped myself against a crate or whatever I could use to visually obscure myself as I was going to originally sit down and just flip through the early pages of my note journal to see for certain information.
No, no have any in mind.
Okay.
By the way, Red is getting this done as quickly as possible
Okay.
because she knows how to be sneaky.
Right.
You don't need to rub it in, okay?
Damn.
Stepped on a cat.
You get done writing and you step back out and you look at Drekix, but
Mm-hmm.
as you look at Drac, you see past his shoulder and you see Eva in the distance. And then you see just about 5-10 feet past Eva, you can see three a bit larger gentlemen walking in your direction.
Are they looking at me?
They're looking directly at the building you are in.
Cool.
You're not sure if they're
walking
looking
away
at
from the building.
you're not sure if they're looking at you or the building.
She's gonna move away from the building to see if they're looking at her or the building.
Do you watch them as you walk away? Like you do that weird like reverse walk or something?
No, she's gonna walk far enough away and then like pretend she has to tie her shoe or something.
Okay,
And surreptitiously look.
you walk about 5, 10, 15 feet away. Drac, what are you doing?
Drac is going to continue to walk around, trying to be nonchalant, trying to give the impression that
He didn't just step on a cat.
exactly so, or the fact that he's kind of worried and looking around for the cat. He's going to go back into that old mentality where I'm supposed to be. Therefore, ignore me.
Okay.
Eva, as you are back a bit, you have that bit of a sense. And you look over your shoulder, you can see three male individuals of decent looking build. They look like they definitely could handle themselves if they needed to. But what's peculiar about this, make a perception check while I give you some details, and I'll give you more as you get a roll.
Mm-hmm.
They're all wearing, for the most part, nondescript clothing, all human. As they walk past you with an 8 perception, you look around, and some details are easy to pick up, some a little harsher, but you do notice is that in one of them has a sack kind of shouldered by a strap, and looking at it, kind of seeing its design, its make, it looks like almost like a torch pouch. Like you can see a couple of wooden torches sticking out of the back of it.
Mhm.
Red, you move 5, 10, 15 feet past, and you're like, oh, my boots always come untied.
Mhm.
How well can you play it off? Give me a just
Jesus.
general charisma check.
A general charisma check. Okay. Oh no, that's a 7.
Oh, look, my boot's untied. This happens so much. Better tie it. And you bend over, tie your boot.
Would it help if she used prestidigitation to make something 10 feet away from her, like, fall? Like, topple over some crates or something?
You certainly can try. What are the components to that spell?
It is simply verbal somatic.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you would know as a spellcaster, it would take a not easily hidden gesture and vocal words to produce the magical effect you're looking for.
However, she has, where is it? Sorcery points.
So,
So she could subtle cast it.
Do you have the meta magic subtle cast?
Let me see.
You have sorcery points, but I don't think you have enough level to have
I
meta
don't.
magic.
Dang it. Yeah, I don't have enough. I don't have any meta magic, just the sorcery points.
I'll let you withdraw that because, yeah, as a
Okay.
caster, you would know it takes a bit of hand gestures and verbal components to make the spell come into effect.
Okay. Yeah. Meh. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So at this point, the three of you watch as the individuals just kind of the eye track ups and down, and they just kind of give them like a piss off look, like with the up nod, like huh! Just grunt. Do you move away, Dracox?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've already been moving off,
Okay.
trying to.
So as one of them just kind of grunts at you, you just walk away, and you can see as two of them post up outside the door, and one goes inside.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Can he see?
That's where we're going to end the episode.
Oh.
Never mind. I guess I
Mm.
will keep my question until next week.
You will keep
Keep
your question
in mind.
until next
Write
week.
it
Write it down. Write it
Nice.
down. Well, I hope my players had fun tonight. Hope you enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Good to hear. I'm very happy with this. To our amazing raiders who came with Ship It, Marco. If you don't follow him, but you love first-person shooters, specifically Destiny 2, go give him a follow. He's an amazing person. I love watching him play, and I get to play with him sometimes. So maybe we'll see me on there. Who knows? I don't know. But thank you for the raid again, Marco. Really appreciate it. Sorry I was on break. I was hungry.
Needed a burrito. Come on.
Yeah, oh god, that burrito was so good. It was literally as big as a plate. It's the whole thing. I had to eat it with a
Nice.
fork. I couldn't even pick it up.
Nice.
But I'm glad you all had fun. Glad
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun to those watching, and I look forward to seeing what happens next Wednesday. And if you enjoyed the content here, please, please, please swing by on Sunday, and we'll see how things go down. I will say that I don't put our personal lives on display here. I'll just say that a member of the Sunday stream is in a bit of a unfortunate situation. So just keep them in your thoughts and your hearts and your prayers. I won't say who. I'll just say that they need some love right now. Need some good energy going their way. So if you could do that, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and we just wish you well. You know exactly who you are. To my players, I'm glad you had fun. I really, really do hope you enjoyed the story we're all weaving together. To my followers we have here at Player Hater Gaming, we love you all very much. We hope we gave you good laughs, great things to talk about, and we can't wait to see you. We'll catch you in either Discord servers, we'll catch you here on Twitch. Who knows where we'll find you or see you, but wherever it is, be safe, have fun, and just, we love you all very much. And have a great night.
Good night.
Definitely. Night, guys.